Welcome to Fire Talk. We give you the latest news updates on Southeastern University athletics. I'm Ken Ingle, president of Southeastern University, and joining me as always, Drew Watson, director of athletics. Good to see you, Drew.
Good to see you.
We're in the full swing of fall.
We are. So I was thinking there's different rhythms to the sports seasons and at the pro level.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You've got some crossover that happens. Like right now, basketball, hockey is about to start. You got baseball, playoffs starting. You've got NFL geared up, week 5 coming up. What's your favorite time of the year?
Yeah, actually, this is October is really my favorite time. Why? Because you have football, both collegiate, pro. You have baseball entering postseason play, and you have NBA basketball starting.
Yes, that's your thing.
And that's, of course, my favorite sport. So you have all of that going. And then, of course, on top of that, you have fire athletics and all the good things happening with our programs here. So, yeah, October seems to be the high point of everything because you have so many things going on at the same time.
So it's also the time when the Clipper fans are most encouraged by this.
And we have a special exciting fall start because we're in a brand new arena.
Oh wow! Yes, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, the house that Ballmer built is right next door to SoFi.
That's great.
And I think it's the Intuit. I'm not for sure.
Arena or something?
Yeah, something like that. But it's state of the art. I think it's going to have the largest circular jumbotron in the NBA. I was out there over the summer, and I wasn't actually in the building, but they were doing a bunch of specials on it, and I saw it. It's beautiful, gorgeous. So I'm hoping to get out there at some point this year and catch a game.
When does the curse take effect each year? Is that in December or is it?
Well, it actually started in July when we lost. George, and when he went
Sixers.
to Philadelphia,
Yeah.
and who else? It just wasn't the best. I don't think good summer for the Clippers, but hey,
hope springs eternal.
Yeah, I think the bottom line they're going to have to start rebuilding, and that's all you can do because most of their good players. I mean, you got Kawhi, but he's always injured when it counts.
Seems to be.
So that's a concern. You got Harden, who is definitely at the ending stages of his career. So, yeah, they're going to have to rebuild. But, it should be a good season.
They come to Orlando once?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Once
So
a
West
year?
Coast teams once here, and then, of course, East Coast goes out there once a year. So
looking forward to that season starting as well as the NHL.
Yeah. Actually, are they in full season mode now? Or
They are
still
not. They're still lightning open October 12th.
All right.
So it's coming.
Yeah.
So as you said, we're in October.
Yes.
This is a stretch run, a very important month for our fall sports. This is when all that work they did over the summer bears itself, and we get great results on the field as we push to be tops in the conference. So it's a really key time for our teams.
That's absolutely right. And so many times people, and I don't mean just our amazing athletes, don't realize that preparation is absolutely the key to success. It's vital. Your work ethic, your discipline.
Yep.
So yeah. But we got a lot to talk about today, so let's get right to it, reviewing all our fall sports, catching up on what's been happening since our last show.
Yep.
We'll start with football, and wow, the team is 3-0 after impressive wins against Faulkner, Reinhardt, and more recently Fort Lauderdale. Beat the Eagles 37-0, and for the first time in 2018 are receiving votes in the NAIA national poll. Looks like our running game is legit this season. The defense is playing very well, only allowing about 10 points in our 3 games.
Yeah, so it's been impressive watching the team play. As you mentioned, the running game, the defense. The coaching staff is doing a great job. Also kind of rebuilding culture. And, Adam's in his 3rd year. So I always say in the 3rd year, when you take over as a coach, the first year is you're kind of coaching somebody else's team.
Right.
The 2nd year, it's a mix. 3rd year, it's really your team.
Right.
And this is the year Adam's he's got a great staff. They put together a good run here. And speaking of defense, let's take a look at Joseph Bonga's fumble recovery for a TD from last weekend's game against Fort Lauderdale. The quarterback, he was a running quarterback. He decides to scramble. He's picked clean here. Ball gets kicked around, and there's Joseph.
Yeah.
Opportunistic, picks it up, gets in the end zone. So, defense has really been defense in the running game have been our highlights this year. This weekend, we have our Sun Conference opener.
Yeah.
That's against Weber International University. Weber comes in here 3-1. We have not left Victory Field, our football team. They have not left Babson Park. So this will be their first road game. They beat their Sun Conference opener was last week. They played Ave Maria, beat them 28-9.
Oh, wow.
At home. And they're sitting at 3-1 on the year. Their only loss is to Campbellsville. So, yeah, they are always scrappy. I mean, as you and I were talking about.
Yeah, they're always a tough game. So I think it's going to be a great game. It's at home, so want to make sure people come out at Victory Field for the game. It's also youth sports night. Kids wearing their jerseys will be allowed in for free.
Yeah, we're excited about that. Would echo what you said about getting people out for the game. Conference openers are a really important time to set the tone in the Sun. So as you said, I mean, we've got about 120 kids who have response at this point for getting kids out to the game. Great. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, we've had great attendance for our games so far at home, and including an incredible student turnout.
Yeah.
It's packed with our students, and they're having fun. And it's been a great season so far. And again, most of the games they've all been played at home. So so this will be the third home game of the season.
Fourth.
Is it the fourth?
It's the fourth.
Wow.
We open with four straight
right.
home.
Fourth.
Go to Florida Memorial next weekend. So that'll be our first road trip.
Yeah, looking forward to that. All right, volleyball. Let's talk about what's going on with them. The ladies beat Weber last Wednesday to move 5-0 in conference, 11-2 overall. In fact, I think we have a highlight from last week's match.
We do. We have this is one thing I'll say is, as you can see on this clip, we've been drawing very well to volleyball.
Yeah, no, it's been good attendance.
And again, as you said, this is Weber. We'll have the serve here. Cambry Pope has a great save here on a block off the neck, saves it there and puts it down for the winner. And there's a very this team's very cohesive.
Yeah.
They're playing well together and riding a 9-game winning streak. So, that's always fun to see.
Nine straight and having an impressive season so far. What's on tap for this week?
Well, this week we have Warner tonight on the road. That's 7 o'clock. Then, this is one of these trap matches because Warner's record is not great. They're struggling a little bit in the Sun, and overall they're sub 500 in both. But we've got St. Thomas coming up. St. Thomas is 18-0 on the season, 5-0 in the Sun, ranked 10th in the country.
Wow. And
so sometimes when you're a team, you're looking forward to that next big game, and you forget about the team you're playing that night.
You got to be careful.
So hopefully those Coach Phelps has them ready for tonight, and we don't look past Warner because that would be a shame to miss out on that win.
And that game on Saturday, is that a home game, St. Thomas?
That is away.
Away game. So both away games this week.
Yeah.
Huge weekend match for sure. So when will we see the home team again play?
We return to action on the 12th, next Saturday against Florida Memorial.
All right, great. Certainly wish them the best this week, and hopefully they can extend that winning streak. Let's talk about men's soccer moving on. The team has not played since last Wednesday. They beat Warner that day, 4-1. It's been, it has to be tough having this kind of break early in the conference schedule. When do they return to the pitch?
They finally return to play on Saturday when they host New College of Florida in a 1 p.m. start. The team's in the midst of a 3-game homestand. Started out great with a win against Warner last week, as you said. And I think anytime you start to kind of get your chemistry together as a team, it's tough to sit around, And so now it is good with injuries. If you've got some injuries, you get to nurse those guys back.
Where do they stand in the conference right now?
We're tied for second. Big game last week. St. Thomas, #1 team in the country, played Kaiser. Kaiser knocked them off 1-0. So we are in a tie with STU and SCAD for second place, with Kaiser undefeated on top.
Well, it's going to be exciting to see how it unfolds down the stretch.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good. Let's talk about cross country. Men and women have not raced since September 7th. Wow. They were supposed to run in the FSU Invitational, but that was canceled due to the hurricane. So when do they get back at it?
They finally race again on Saturday when they run a familiar course at Ave Maria. The men go at 7:30 and the women at 8:15. This is a course that has been used for the conference championship every other year, so they're very familiar with it.
Good deal. I know it's going to be great to get back out there after a long break.
Absolutely.
In terms of golf, women's golf traveled to Mississippi to play in the Cary Collegiate this week, finished 4th in a very tough field. Who were our top players there this week?
Maria Stevens finished 7th with a 224 over 3 rounds. Allie Cuellar at 14th with a 229.
What about the men? When do they get back on the course?
Well, they don't return to action until October 13th when they head up to Tennessee for the Bojangles Intercollegiate, hosted by Tennessee Wesleyan. Should be a great fall tournament up there.
Great. Good. Hey, we love to talk about all good things happening in fire athletics, and those things can't happen without the support of our amazing sponsors. The sponsor for today's show is Regal Automotive. Regal Automotive Group, your source for all things automotive in Lakeland and Winter Haven area. Full-service dealer group offering a vast range of quality auto brands and backed by stellar customer service. Specializing in Chevrolet, GMC, Kia, Honda, and Acura, Regal Automotive is a proud partner of Fire Athletics. Let Regal Automotive be your first choice when shopping for a brand new car, SUV, or pick up a truck. You know, there's one sport we haven't discussed yet today, and that's women's soccer. With us today is head coach Caleb Roberts and one of our amazing student athletes, Madelyn Davidson. Welcome, both of you, to the show today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for taking time to be here.
So, again, welcome. This is the first question. First question is for you, Madelyn. Tell us a little bit about your family. You're all the way from Carnation, Washington.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
How does someone from Carnation, Washington hear about SEU, first of all, then tell us a little bit about your family?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I grew up in a church in Assemblies of God, so Eastridge Church in Issaquah. It's been an awesome place. Grew up there, and so there's always been connections to the Assemblies of God. I've known of SEU. But in 6th grade, SEU worship actually came to one of our winter conferences, and it was just a cool experience. Love to have them there. And I never really thought of SEU as like a place to go, but truly it's the Lord who put me here. He opened doors and closed doors that needed to be closed, and that's truly why I'm here. My family, love them. I have an older sister, younger brother, great parents, and we live out on a farm. We have some animals, but it's been super fun and a blessing. So,
What kind of animals?
We used to have some donkeys, used to have horses. We're kind of like low on animals right now, but dogs and cats right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, I know where Carnation is. Beautiful area.
Yeah.
East Ridge was our home church when we lived in Issaquah.
Awesome.
So, yeah, we love that church. And, of course, the Jamesons and
Yes.
Josh Jameson was a student of mine.
Yes.
So, yeah, love
awesome.
them, and great place.
Yeah.
So you're a junior. You've been here now 3 years. What would you say is your favorite part of being here at SEU?
Yeah. I would just say the people. It's truly a blessing, this community we have here, and on and off the field, but specifically my team. They're just amazing people, and I love them.
That's great.
Yeah.
So let's turn to soccer, Coach. It's been a tough year so far. Team sits at 2-5-1. I have to say, I've seen a number of your games. Right, you have to be the best 2-win team in the country.
I think we're the best 2-win team in the country.
I mean,
100%.
I mean, you lost. Kaiser's number 2.
Number
and you
1,
lost,
actually.
They're number 1 now. Just came out today, right? Okay, so you lost to the number 1 team in the country, 4-3, on our home pitch, and then the game against SCAD, what are they now?
I think they were something like that. 18.
Okay, so
it has 8 in it.
Yeah, so they were 14th last ranking. So another tough match here at home, where up until the 65th minute, it's tied 1-1. And so you're playing these top teams as tough as you can play them. It's just not working out in the end. So the question is, as a head coach, how do you keep the team believing that you're a top team when you hit tough times?
Yeah, so we actually took a moment before the game last week against Warner and just paused. We do team goals, and we talk about them, and they're present in the locker room. But what we did last week was we erased them. We took them off the board. And what we rewrote as a team was pathway goals, is what we called them. The goals are there, but let's write pathway goals and how we get there at this point of where we're at, 2-5-2. So can we go one day at a time, try to go 1-0, and position ourselves in the best place for the conference tournament? And just kind of rewriting the mindset of how we approach each session, rather than look at these lofty goals that are absolutely still achievable, but kind of lower the level of how do we get there day by day.
So focus on what's in front of you.
That's it.
That's good. That's good.
Madelyn, the conference playoffs are wide open so far from a player's perspective. How do you and your teammates, stay motivated so that you're playing your best soccer during the most important time of the season?
Yeah, I mean, the team has been amazing even through this time. Obviously, the outcome hasn't been what we wanted, but we've really focused on the word joy, finding joy just in the sport, and going back to like we all played when we were kids, kept finding joy in it again. Even if the outcome isn't how it is right now, we're finding joy in the practices and the games and finding joy in each other. And then I think ultimately the outcome will come at the right time.
Yeah,
so it's been good.
I think a lot of people, Coach and I were talking recently, and I had a team that I coached basketball 15 years. I had a team that started 0-4. And those 4 losses were in basketball, they were 20, 25, 28-point losses. And so everybody's frustrated. I'm sure every athlete's felt that feeling. And so I walked in and I said, why do you play basketball? And they said, a bunch of them were like, because it's fun. I mean, I'm sure you've asked yourself that question, right?
We may have had an inspirational talk about that recently.
We had the same question asked.
So the question, the answer is it fun? Is this fun? Is 0-4 we just lost by 28 points last night? Is this fun? Well, no, actually, it's not. No, you don't play. You don't play because it's fun. You play because you love the game and it's a challenge. And if it were easy, like if I shot a 62 every time I played golf, it'd be fun a couple times. I mean, I've played golf with you. We have stories. We'll keep the stories to ourselves. But it wouldn't be fun if it was easy. So that's part of the challenge. And I'm sure as you guys progress throughout the season, it's going to be great when you achieve those goals and you're like, oh, well, that's what that 2-5-1 start was. It was something we had to get through to where we are now. So really excited to see how it ends up.
Thank you.
Now, Coach, you're on the road for the next couple of games. You're playing New College of Florida in Sarasota. Then you head to Savannah, right? Next Wednesday for a rematch with SCAD. What are you emphasizing as you enter this really important stretch of the season?
Yeah, during this stretch of the season, we're really emphasizing just be us, which is hard to say when you look at the record. Yeah. But we know what's been going on. We know the opponents we've been playing, and really taking the approach of we're battle-tested now. Yeah. You've forged the sword in the fire. Now we're ready to go and kind of do what we need to do down the stretch in the final 8 games. And so it's just continue to be who we are. Don't over-focus on who we're playing. Just focus on what we can do and our potential and capability, and let's go from there.
Yeah, that's good. That's great.
Madelyn, how long have you been playing soccer?
Probably around 10 years.
Okay,
10 to 15. I didn't start playing soccer. I was a softball.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Coach just learned something new about you.
Right?
Yeah. So over the years, over those 10 or 15 years, what has the game taught you that you don't think you would have learned otherwise?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is I'm such a people person. Just finding times to share my faith with others. I mean, obviously it's different here at SU having culture of Christ.
Right.
But growing up was a great opportunity to share my faith with others. But also just, I love the creativity of soccer, and I think that's why soccer is truly a sport I play now. It's not like softball where there's plays or basketball where there's plays necessarily, but you get the freedom to just be creative and work with a team, work with one another, and it's truly not an individual sport either. You need your team. Yeah. So I think that's kind of the biggest thing I've learned, and just that process of humility too, and just realizing that this is bigger than just one person.
That's good. That's good.
I want to ask both of you, our word of the year is fuel the fire. So what does that mean to you based on your experience and what you want to accomplish this year? And
You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I think just in my own personal life, the Holy Spirit has just been cultivating this aspect of the gifts that He's given me, but also realizing the gifts that He's given my teammates and given like coaches and those around me, and just realizing those gifts and cultivating them. So I think fueling the fire is putting all of our gifts together and truly trying to glorify the Lord, but also in the community of SCU, just using those gifts as Jesus would. And He was the perfect example of acting like us, being like Jesus is acting how He did, and He shared the gospel so well. And I think fueling the fire is just being willing to share the gospel with those that even wouldn't even hear the word of God. So yeah,
that's great.
Yeah. So for me, when I think about fuel the fire, I'm a literal person, so I see a fire burning. Yeah. And what keeps the fire burning? It's a continual stack of logs sitting next to it. And so when I look and think about that, I think about community. Your community is the stack of logs. Building that community around you, that's what keeps your fire going in the right place, like the locker room. It says on our board every day, you are capable, be confident in the gifts God gave you.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how you build the community to keep that fire going each and every day as we're going through the tough times, but also in the better times. We just want to continue to keep each other motivated, build the community around each other, and have that base. So when we get to this point in the year, we know who's around us, and our tight circle is very there.
And I love what you said, Madelyn, about because it's counterintuitive in athletics to think about the group, because we're all wired to think about ourselves. And so I've always believed that on the best teams that I ever coached were teams that look to make their teammates better. And but again, you have 31 people on your team, and everybody's got a different perspective. So that truly is a challenge of coaching a team, is trying to get 31 people to think in a team community setting, and not like, well, what about my playing time? What about the shots? I'm not getting shots. I'm not getting time. So I think your perspective is truly a Christ-centered perspective, because I don't think we can do that by ourselves. I think we're all wired to be selfish, and so that's really cool that you mentioned that. Thank you.
I want to thank you both for joining us today. Again, privileged to have a conversation with you, and excited about your contribution to Fire Athletics, and it's significant to us, and want to wish you well as you head on the road for the next couple of games and chase that Sun Conference championship.
Thank you for
Thank you
having
very
us.
much.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Well, Drew, that's a wrap for today. We want to make sure we remind everyone to come out on Saturday for men's soccer against New College, 1 p.m., and for football in the conference opener against Weber at 7 p.m. Yeah.
And make sure you visit sufire.com for the latest in Fire Athletics. You can find the event calendar there, as well as a link to watch all of our home games for free. Good luck to all of our teams this week.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, and take care, everybody. Go Fire!